Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope this is working. I don't actually know. We are on location in an effort to always be here for you at 9 p.m. on every Monday, even when I show up for a live podcast event. Mine already knew that this was probably going to happen. I warned her ahead of time. We're at Fretboard every Monday, so I assume that everybody that listens to this or watches this, however you want to put it, knows that on Mondays, Fretboard does a live podcast series from the tap room. And tonight was Matt Demaris doing Hustle and Brews. If you guys don't listen to his show, go subscribe to that. I don't even think you can see that. There. So subscribe to that. I'd put a link in the show notes if something like this had show notes. Just wherever you listen to podcasts, search for Hustle and Brews, and you'll find it. So we're at Fretboard, and I was planning on being home by now, but Marco kept me here too late. The microphone is like right in front of your face. So you guys know how this works. If you want to hang out and chat with us, you can do that in the chat wherever you're watching, and we'll see it here, and we can talk to you that way. Normally you can call in, but since we're not in the studio, you can't call in. I shouldn't say that. You can call in, and you can leave a message. I just can't get back to you right now because we're in the middle of a show. But chat, tell us what you're drinking. Although everybody that typically chats and hangs out with us is right here. So for all of you that are on watching, I can see that you're on. Just tell us what you're drinking. So I'm finishing up a little bit of the Berliner Weiss. What is this called? This is called Yamar. Yamar. Sean says cheers, and my wife says hi, Julia, hi, Marco. And then I'm about. Yeah, everybody listen to Truth, Beer, and Consequences. They are not recording live tonight, although they should be. That would have been fun. In a minute, I'm going to drink this. Is this Oktoberfest? If you're an Oktoberfest fan, which you guys all know that I am, we are about to start on the yearly quest to figure out the best packaged Oktoberfest in Cincinnati. Which I'm hoping they still have some for sale here because I need to pick up a 6-pack to add to the collection. But yeah, I'm drinking the Berliner, and it's amazing. It's light and refreshing and super drinkable. What did we decide ABV was? 4.8? 4.5? I can't read the little numbers. 44%? 4.5, and it's delicious. And after what has been a very, very long day, it just hits the spot wonderfully. I started out this morning at Municipal. Hi, Sean. We brewed this year's Big Sis. Oh, my wife says that our shirts look coordinated. They're not. I've got Pleplius, and he's got a bunch of High Life. Why are you wearing a High Life shirt?
Okay, so I went from my full-time job to here, and just as a backup, the other day when I was at the brewery, I took 2 shirts because it was very hot. So I wanted to have a shirt to change into. Well, I wound up not changing into that shirt, and it was this shirt. And so when I left my full-time job, I threw this shirt on, so I wasn't in a branded shirt for my other job. That's why I have a High Life shirt on. So
that sort of explains it, but not really. Why do you have a High Life shirt? I guess I should have.
All right. So several years ago, Miller High Life had a campaign where you could collect points by buying High Life 12 packs, 30 racks. They had codes, and you could submit it much like the old. Didn't the cigarette companies used to do that back when cigarettes we're So if you collected enough codes, you could get stuff. And so I wound up getting 3 or 4 shirts. I wound up getting a couple of stainless steel mugs, which was a terrible idea because
My wife says, so you drank enough to get a free shirt?
no, Brandy, hello. No, I did not drink enough to get a free shirt. I drank enough to get several free shirts, a couple of stainless steel mugs, which was a terrible idea because the stainless steel mugs, they were like they were like I don't know how they were drilled out, but pouring beer into them was awful. I mean, the beer just foamed up terribly. So I have many shirts, mugs. I have koozies, and this was in my youth. Forgive me. This was in my youth. Pre digging into craft and digging into brewing craft beer. But the legacy lives on. I have the shirts. They still fit today, which is crazy because I've gained many pounds since a decade ago. But that's how I came to obtain the shirts. And the shirt was in my car, and I just knew whether it was with the Hustle and Brews podcast or with I just knew somehow I was gonna get on a platform where I was gonna be either photographed or taped. And so in the back of my car I had this spare shirt, and I didn't want to have a logo shirt on from the company I work full time from. So this is what you got, and hey, I own it, I earned it, and here you go. Highlight.
Marco worked very hard to get that shirt. Basically, what we've learned is that Marco is also now an owner of Miller Coors because he drank so much of it in his youth, as he says.
Yeah, breaking news. AB InBev has bought Cellar Dweller. That's what that means.
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah. That's my version of the truth.
Truth, beer, consequences to hear the rest. So going back to my day, Sean laughed at my statement that I had a long day today because, Lisa, we started early brewing Big Sis, which is really, especially for me, it's really not a lot of work. I just kind of stand there, drink beer. I kicked a hose, which I think counts as my I kicked it out of the way. They were trying to get something through, and I moved the hose with my foot, and I feel like that was a big help. That's pretty much all that I did. So I'm good at moving hoses. I did not. I mean, I have rubber boots. I felt that would be a bit much to show up in like full brewer's gear. But the beer is in the tank, and it is it's probably not fermenting quite yet, although there is something in there happening, and it will be coming soon. Stay tuned for that. I think we have a tentative date, but I'm afraid to say it out loud because I don't know for sure that that's the date. But safe to say, within the next month or so, you'll have some new Big Sis coming at you. This year's batch is a English pale ale, English-ish. It is a revolutionary pale ale, and I'm excited to try it. And so that was my morning and beginning part of my afternoon. Then I was doing some work stuff in between, and then here. So it's been not a difficult day, but it has been a long, long day. And then I get to get up in the morning and go to the other job. Sean says it's an English Pale Ale /ESP. So it's supposed to be ESB, or is ESP actually a thing? I mean, I know ESP is actually a thing, but I did. Hey, or hey. So yeah, that's coming soon, and we will have more details. If you ESB, yeah, that makes more sense. ESP is that thing where I can read your mind.
Are there any labels before I head out?
No, I don't have. I didn't pull any labels this week. It's hard to do with this setup. So
Making sure I don't miss out
no
on it.
label approvals to spoil surprises this week.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah, I don't even think people can actually hear you because you're off mic.
Just like talking into the ether.
Yes, I'm just looking off into the distance. I will keep this a little bit brief because it's so chaotic and it doesn't make any sense because
You're welcome.
I'm just here live. I'm always here live, but I'm here live. This week's Brewcast was out at Cartridge. I got to give them a huge thanks for coming through this week with a last-minute cancellation. If you listen to the show, I mentioned that that this week's scheduled guest canceled, but that we weren't mad at them, but that I couldn't say why. I think I can say now because he posted it on his Instagram page, his personal Instagram page, so maybe not. I don't know. Evan Rouse. Braxton was scheduled to be on, and Evan had his baby, his little girl, and so he had to cancel because he had to go become a dad. So we're okay with that. We're not mad at them at all for canceling. I predicted that they would, the timing would work out that way. But they will be back on the show in the near future once he comes back, and we'll talk to them about everything they've got going on, along with being a dad. This next week's episode, I'm going to head up to Middletown, and I've got an episode with New Ales up there, which is fun because the last time I had them on the show was right at the beginning of the COVID shit, so early 2020. They had just started kind of getting up and running. They were still planning on just being kind of a distribution-only brewery, and they said, maybe longer term we'll get a tap room up and running, but we don't really have any plans for that yet. As it turned out, COVID changed everything immensely, including their plans to have a tap room. So they got a tap room up and running with a beer garden, and so it'll be fun to get them on the show and talk about kind of that evolution of the plan. So that's next week's episode. We've got some other fun stuff in the hopper that I won't talk about yet. I do have, for any of you Drinking with the Gnome fans, I have the first episode in over a year of Drinking with the Gnome coming this week. And then I promise I'll be better about that now. My wife is ordering beers. Yes, I'll bring you beer home. Okay. She's placing an order. That's not what this show is for. From here. Yeah, she wants me to bring Reba. Can you see the cooler? There is Reba in there. There it is. Yeah, I'll bring Reba. All right. We'll wrap this up so that I can finish my beer and get home. And
Truth Beer Pod.
yeah, if you don't subscribe to Truth Beer Podsequences, subscribe to it. Unless you listen to your podcast on Apple, then you're gonna have to wait because it's not there yet.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying. Go everywhere else.
Everybody starts a podcast wrong. Instead of getting it out to all of the places before they launch it, they always launch it and then get it out there. Nobody listens to me. All right. We'll be back next week. Same bat channel, different bat place.
Getting to-go food and a truth. Next
Yeah.
week.
Marco promises he'll be back to his normal routine. Thank you, guys. If you don't, like I said, if you don't subscribe to any of the shows we've mentioned, subscribe to them all. Thank you very much. There's no outro music because on location, but yeah. This is the Bat Channel, Sean. If you like the stuff that I typically do, maybe not these spontaneous things like this that are probably not the most entertaining thing ever. If you like it, go to thenarlygnome.com/support, and that's how you can support. That way it helps a lot, more so than you probably realize. So thank you if you already do that. Cheers, guys.